All right, following a weekend of violence, America vowing to help liberate the people of Venezuela, with Secretary Pompeo warning that Nicolas Maduro's days in power are numbered.
We've said every option's on the table. We're going to do the things that need to be done to make sure that the Venezuelan people's voice, that democracy reigns, and that there's a brighter future for the people of Venezuela.
With Vice President Mike Pence set to meet with opposition leader Juan Guaido later this morning, are we finally witnessing the decline of dangerous socialist policies? Here to weigh in, Vice President for Foreign Policy at the Heritage Foundation, James Carafano. Thank you for your time this morning. What's the most important thing that we here in the United States can learn from this?
Well, I think the most interesting thing from an analyst standpoint that looks at foreign policy and statecraft, what the real key tool here has been is not the individual sanctions, not gathering all the countries in support, but the humanitarian aid. Because what the humanitarian aid has done is it's made a stark moral contrast between the international community that's trying to help the Venezuelan people and the regime of Maduro. And it really has put them in a really tight place. So we've seen both a number of defections on the one hand, which shows the loosening of power of the regime, but on the other hand, we've also seen the regime strike back against their own people, which I think puts incredible pressure on these guys to just get out of town.
Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting to see a dictator try and keep food and aid from his people just to try and hold on to power. At what point does he lose his military? His last support system is his military. At what point do they turn on him and this thing changes?
Well, of course, that's the big question. It's already very tenuous. To me, the real issue here isn't anymore is, can this regime stand? I thought the United States was really smart in essentially offering an off-ramp for Maduro from the beginning. And there have been reports of secret talks between the regime and the administration saying, look, we'll just get out of town. We'll let you keep some of your money. We won't, prosecute you. But the problem now, I think, is as the violence escalates, I think it'll be harder for the regime to let go, and it'll be also much more likely that people of Venezuela will take things in their own hands.
Let's take a look at this tweet from Juan Guaido, and it says, today's events forced me to make a decision to pose to the international community in a formal way that we must have all options open to achieve the liberation of this country that is fighting and will continue to fight. Hope was born not to die, Venezuela. What do you make of what he's doing there, attempting to do?
Well, I think it is about escalating pressure. There doesn't seem to be in Venezuela a big appetite for foreign intervention, and I think that's right. And I don't think that that's on the table. So it's been reported that Vice President Pence is going to announce some additional concrete measures of supporting. I think it'll be most likely measures designed to pressure the regime as opposed to signaling that we're actually going to put troops on the ground in Venezuela.
James, real quick, as quick as you can, AOC, Bernie Sanders, when they look at this situation, they say socialism is not the problem here, that this is a problem of no democracy in this country. What do you say? How do you respond to that?
Well, here's the problem is how did we get here? And we got here because these guys got all the reins of government, and government got control of everything, and there was no check on abuse. And the problem with socialism, it's the gateway drug to authoritarianism.
Okay. All right. Thank you, James, very much. We appreciate it, as always.